Hey everybody, welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. So we're gardening indoors again, and I'm just kind of giving you guys an update on how all the fig cuttings are doing, and whatever else I've got growing right here. Now Christmas happened, we got the tree up behind us, still haven't taken it down because I was working so hard that I didn't get to put my tree up right away, and I didn't get all my decorations out right away, so I'm enjoying them just a little bit longer. But they'll be coming down soon, probably right after the kids go back to school. So, but yeah, the plants that I have here, I did have other plants that were up in front down here. Right now, I'm just sitting on the floor here with my cozy socks and that sort of thing. But, yeah, so all the other plants that were on the floor where I'm sitting are in the windowsill in my son's bedroom, and they are doing amazing on the windowsill. My Black Madeira island fig tree that I had gotten from another Our Figs member is doing fantastic. It's put on tremendous growth. I've got big old leaves, all of that. It's looking amazing. I'll show you guys that in another video. But we're just going to take a look here. Now I have some African violet leaves. I was experimenting to see how easy it was to get them to root and to make babies. And we've got little babies down in here, which are really cool. And I won't be keeping any of those. I'll probably sell those locally here. So yeah, and then I've got I'm experimenting with some Thanksgiving cactuses, and so I've got some little leaves there, and I'm experimenting with some to see if I can root the what is it called, wintergreen. So I've got some leaves off some wintergreen. When I'm out and about in public and I see branches that are broken or little leaves that have been broken off, I'll pick those up and I will bring them home and I will experiment with them. So I got a couple of those. Anyways, and so, except for these came off of my husband's grandmother's African violet that she gave me. So yeah, and I've got those all divided up. New pot for the African violet that I acquired from her and all of that good stuff. So anyways, so how are these fig tree cuttings doing? Look at them, you guys. All right, so they are doing okay. Some of them aren't doing as good as others. I had gotten some Tulsa from, I'm wanting to say Fig du Monde. I might be saying that incorrect. They're over on Figbid. It's really hard to say that word for me. But they're over on Figbid. And let me see here. Which one is it? I lost one of them. It completely dried out and died. And I don't understand. And the top of this one is a little bit wrinkly. And if they start getting kind of wrinkly, you kind of see that ridge right there in this cutting right there. That part, I'm not sure if that's going to make it. It's kind of crispy at the point there. Let's try to get it to focus a little bit. It's kind of crispy at the point there. And it's kind of real wrinkly looking. And when they start looking really wrinkly, like the Negroni right here, and that sort of thing, I don't know if those are going to make it. Now, I have them all in these, and they look like they've got a lot of moisture, blah, blah, blah. And they say, don't overwater, don't underwater, don't overwater. But it's really kind of hard when you're doing things indoors. And I am a newbie, again, doing this. So what I ended up doing is, instead of them not having holes in the bottom, and that sort of thing, I went through and I cut holes in all the bottoms of all of the cups, and I also double cupped them. So I've got this bottom part that doesn't have holes, and then this part right here has holes cut in the bottom, so it can at least drain but not like soak in water. So I'm able to water them. Now I don't know if this Negroni might make it. It's not as wrinkly as the other ones, so we'll keep an eye on that. But I also went through and I wrote the names down. And on the cups, I will need to get some of those metal plaques that I can actually hammer the name into or etch it in with something so that I can have like more permanent name markers. Because this actually, with a little bit of water, comes right off. So right now it's serving the purpose and it's doing really good. So I know what everything is. But yeah, I was really bummed about the Tulsa variety back here. This bottom half might actually make it. So I'm very hopeful still that I may end up getting something that comes from those 2 cuttings. The other cutting completely died. It was completely dead. I don't know how that happened. Maybe we could chalk it up to being a newbie error. I don't know. But this line right here is the ones that are struggling, which I have some, not all of them are struggling, but I've got some Desert King, and I've got the Negroni, which was given to me. And I believe this one right here is Samoa Sunshine, and it's also wrinkling up on me. It started putting out some green growth, and then it just got all wrinkly. So that is a prime example of what I had mentioned in my last video, guys, that green doesn't always equal roots. And so these got the green, and then they shriveled up. So I'm watching all of my rest of my cuttings, and this is going to be the thing. Not all of your cuttings that you get are going to actually take. And, you know, I'm just chalking it up to new growing errors possibly. Out of all of these, this one might make it off of the Negroni. This one off of the Samoa Sunshine may make it. And then I have 1 or 2, possibly 3, this one here, and this one here, that might make it off of the Desert King. A couple of the other ones look like they are not going to make it. Then down here on the end, these ones are just some extras that I had, and I've got them all spaced across the bottom, so, you know, they'll get plenty of light. I'm trying to keep some light on them. And then also, they're kind of in a warmer area of the house. Although we do have wind that comes down the chimney and it comes through the little cracks, but I think it's fine. But yeah, so these ones are doing okay. These ones haven't been in the cups very long. So as far as roots, I don't know. They're just kind of, you know, doing their own thing. I did lose, I can't remember which one it was, but I did lose another fig cutting. It actually started rotting completely. And I'm wanting to say the bottom half. So what I did was I cut it, and then it was the Florea. It was this one here, and I cut it off, and I cut off the damaged part, and then I stuck this part into a cup. So this one, hopefully the top half was still alive, and I cut off the rotten part and I repotted it. So I don't know. It looks like it's getting a little bit wrinkly. I may give this cup just a tiny bit of water. The soil's kind of moist, but to develop roots, I think it might need just a little bit moisture, but I don't know. Newbie errors. But it does have the area so I can allow the water to drain off and then empty the excess water out. So that's what I'm really liking about the double cup method. Then right in here, these are some of the other varieties. Now, I am watching for roots to come on all of these. And this is how this is looking. I've got this Antonio Black. The top half looks like it's kind of dying or something. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. So primarily this side are the ones that are kind of struggling a little bit, except for the ones on the end. And then right here are the ones that I have that are really looking good. So this one is my ones that I got off of Etsy for like $2. And I put Etsy Celeste ? So, but we got lots of good roots growing in here. And this is not typical. You don't generally want to have more than one per cup. And that could have been the reason why these ones are all struggling, because actually if you look, there's more than one fig cutting in the container and they're all shriveled looking. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But this one, we got one that's rooted, and then we got more than one in this one. But I think these ones are all, the rest of these are going to make it. One of them didn't, already removed it. This one here is an Antonio Black. This one I got off of FigBid. Really cool, named after KK's friend Antonio. And apparently Antonio had these ones in his yard when he was alive. And so he named it after his friend Antonio. And it's a black fig. Smells like cat pee, but it's really pretty. So if you smell the leaves, it kind of smells like cat pee. I don't know why. Anybody else ever notice that with about some of the figs? They kind of smell like cat pee. Like, I've gotten some of the fig cuttings here have come in and they've kind of smelt weird, and now I think I know why. It's just the cutting. But anyway, so this one's good. Now we do have roots on the Antonio. Let me move this down so you guys can see the roots. We've got the roots growing up towards the top. They're poking out of the top of the soil here. Let's see. You can see that little white root right there under the edge of the bark. And then we got all the roots. This is rooting really, really well. And we got new roots down here. So those are looking really good. I'm going to have a nice Antonio Black. And I probably won't be keeping duplicates of these trees for sure. I'll probably end up either giving away and or selling the duplicates. So this one, I do have one small root, I think along the bottom somewhere here. There's like a root right along the bottom, right? Let me see. It's kind of hard to show it. It's right along here, but there's like one small root, and then if I tilt it, I can kind of see them underneath at the bottom, but they're not as big as this other one right here. So, but we do have a nice little green bulb there, and we do have some roots in here. So that's good, you guys. So roots are what you're looking for. Again, like I had said it before, green growth do not equal roots, and that's what I've been told, and that's what I'm going to reiterate back to everybody else. So as far as the rest of these, I am in high hopes. This one's a little bit wrinkly looking. This one's a Sejo Preto. This one's a little bit wrinkly right up in this area, but the bottom half is very smooth looking, so maybe, I don't know what's going on. So I will be keeping an eye on this one. This one right here has a little green spot on it, and it's also Sejo Preto, and I'm probably saying it incorrectly. I'm looking for roots. I'm not sure if this one has any roots yet, but I suspect we'll be seeing some in the near future. And then the rest of them, I'm going to be watching for roots. I do have some green. This one right here has got some green, so I'm hopeful. But until I see roots, I'm not going to hold my breath on the cuttings themselves. So I've already lost at least 2 to 3. And then some that my niece sent me, some of those have not made it. And whenever I notice that they're definitely dead, like probably this Negroni right here is probably dead, I remove them from the containers completely. That way, if they start rotting or something, they don't spread like bad stuff to the other plants. So anyways, you guys, that's pretty much it on the fig cuttings. Everything's looking pretty good for the most part. I'm very, very pleased with how everything's coming along. The 2-cup method is working pretty well for me right now. As you could see, this Antonio Black was the one I've had the longest, so of these particular types of cuttings, and so that's why I have roots on them sooner than other ones, and these were the next ones that I had. They might have been right around the same time I got the Antonio Black. That's the reason why these ones have roots, and we're still waiting on the other ones. It might take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks before we start really seeing any roots, but I'm hopeful. Some of my MBVSs look like those are really, really, I'm hopeful for those, as well as the Nero 600. And I think this one right here is also a MBVS. And we got a nice green spot on this. I had a lot of really great root initials on those. So anyways, you guys, that's it on the fig cuttings. And then they got this little overwintered Cosmos. This is a chocolate Cosmos. And I cut it all back like a week or so ago. Maybe just a little bit more than a week or so ago. And this is all the new growth on it. It was getting a little bit tall and leggy. And so I needed to cut it back. And it's gotten really full. And it's put up new sprouts and everything. So I've been really enjoying overwintering some of my plants just to see how they do. And so I'll show you some more of those in my son's room. I'll probably do a video on that next week when they're back in school. So anyways, you guys, thanks so much for watching. comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, click that bell button. Have a wonderful day, and God bless. Bye.